So what should you do if you have toxic parents? Well, the same thing you should do with other toxic people. Cut them off. For many, the idea of cutting off toxic parents feels very extreme. And this is for a lot of reasons. One, it goes against culture. Two, it goes against your training, which is also, by the way, if you have narcissistic parents, you are brainwashing. And so you were raised to think, hey, family is the most important thing. Your parents are the most important thing of all. You should never cut off your parents. They're everything to you. You owe them. And so this thinking and this brainwashing over time has led you to believe that even though a person in your life is toxic and has proven themselves again and again to be abusive, that is violating of your boundaries, you think that you should not cut them off. And why? Well, because they're your parents. It's very important to realize the truth. Okay, you are a sovereign state. Metaphorically speaking, you are a nation of your own. You have your own natural resources and your own rules. And you are the ruler of your own land, and you make the rules. Those rules, we call them boundaries. They are the rules of how we will allow other people to treat us, what the criteria is for someone else to be our friend or to be in our life. You set the rules. You set the standards for what the criteria is for someone to be in your life. That includes for your parents. If you're over 18, you are an adult. You are now emancipated. You are not a slave of your parents. You are not merely just an extension of them as they would want you to believe. You are your own individual person. So think of yourself as your own sovereign state, which means a plot of land that has its own rulership. You're the boss of you. What's more is you're responsible for you, which means you're responsible for your health, which means you're responsible for your mental health, for your energy, for your metaphysical health. Now, how do you protect your energy? Well, you have to cut off toxic people. It does not matter that the toxic people utilize titles such as mom and dad. I know it can seem as if these titles must entitle them to something, but the reality is a symptom of narcissistic personality disorder is entitlement. So unhealthy parents use these titles as a basis for you to believe it's okay for them to continue to violate your boundaries. I can walk in your room because I'm your mom. I can see you naked because I'm your mom. I can take your money because I'm your dad. I can do this and do that. I can make the decisions in your life because we are your parents. If you are an adult, you have rights that are inalienable from you. And one of those rights is the right to make your own decisions and to protect your personal space and personal health. Do not be afraid to cut your parents off if they are toxic and abusive. Look, if they're normal people, then be normal. You're going to enjoy a good relationship with them. That's natural. It's natural to want your parents' approval. It's natural to want them to be proud of you. It's natural to want to have good family relations. All of that is natural. What's not understood is that you're not in a natural situation. Your family is not normal if your parents are narcissists or one of them is a narcissist. So you have to respond differently. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, it is like your state, your country is under attack. And when your country is under attack, that means you're at war. even though you did not start the war and you are peaceful and have no desire to be at war. If someone attacks your country, you're at war. There's just nothing you can do about that. So you have to now operate in the mindset of being at war. I'm sorry that it's that way, but it is that way. Don't be prey. Operate in the mindset of realize, okay, my nation is under attack, so I'm at war. So I need to set boundaries, set rules, and get really, really strict about enforcing these boundaries because I control me. So that means you're going to decide if you're going to answer the phone or not. You're going to decide if you go over to their house or to the next family gathering or not. You decide. Not me, not them. You make the decision based on your own individual situation. Recognize what's really happening because narcissists are operating by different rules than you. You're operating by the rules of love and empathy. Narcissists are operating by the rules of kill or be killed, dog eat dog, rule or ruin. That's how they look at you. Even your own parents if they're narcissists. Or your own spouse if they're a narcissist. They look at you as, I will gladly destroy this person if it puts me on top. You're not safe around that individual. So unfortunately, you don't get to do what other people get to do where they have this lovey-dovey relationship with their family. You have to keep yourself safe. So how do you do that? Set up your boundaries. Decide, am I going to allow calls? Am I going to allow texts? Am I going to go as far as to block? You decide where the boundary is going to be. I'm going to go over on weekends. I only go over once a month. I only go over on special occasions. You decide where the boundary is. It's up to you. But you have to protect your health. And if you have children, you got to protect their health. And don't underestimate the importance of mental health, metaphysical health, because mental illness is contagious. Narcissists are the ones who are creating complex trauma victims. So if you have CPTSD, you are created by a predator, a narcissist. And narcissists are predators. Recognize that. You cannot heal while you continue in a relationship with the very person who's opening your wounds. You need to cut them back considerably. Don't be afraid. Okay, they're going to use their title, but I'm your mom, but I'm your dad. Don't fall into that. It doesn't, I wish you acted like it. I wish you acted the way a mom is supposed to act. I wish you acted like the way a dad is supposed to act. That's how you should be thinking. You don't bother saying that to them because it's pointless. You should be taking all that time and energy into just creating distance. That is your best defense so that you can get into a healthy mind state. Create distance. Some of my clients fell into a depression when they were children. They were clinically depressed. Why? Because their parents were that toxic. Why would you want to remain around someone that can't even show love to a child? Children are naturally happy. Children can't fall into a depression unless you are literally depriving them of their basic necessities. Recognize what your parents really are by analyzing them like this. Strip off the titles mom and dad and look at them based on their actual actions and behaviors in life. Child abuse, neglect, everything. Look at who they actually are. And then ask yourself, based on your actual interactions with them, all those toxic conversations, ask yourself, would I normally associate with a person like this? If the answer is no, then how does MOM being on their title make you go the opposite direction and pursuing a relationship with them and pursuing their love and their approval? That makes no sense. They're just going to use it against you. They are a predator. They are a narcissist. So recognize that the title is not enough. The title is not enough to precipitate that you open yourself up to abuse. If you want to be healthy, you want to be happy, then choose to take steps to protect your sovereign state. Oh, but I would feel so guilty. You might feel guilt, but I would take guilt, a little bit of guilt with a lot of bit of happiness, freedom, independence, privacy, confidence, self-worth, self-esteem, genuine relationships. Do you get my point? Okay, I get a little guilt, but then I get metaphysical health and self-actualization. Or I can give up my metaphysical health, risk my life, potentially fall into a depression or start cutting myself so that I can have my mom. Let her go. Create distance. And you will see that you're able to get healthier and more independent. And you're going to feel good. If you don't feel better and I'm wrong, easy. All you have to do is go back to your mom. She's right there. You can go back anytime. So just try taking my advice. Just try putting some distance. Just try putting a separation between you and your predatorial, narcissistic, toxic family members. And if it doesn't work, you can let me know right there in the comments. Right there in the comments. You can just say, hey, I tried distancing myself from them and I got less mentally healthy. You can just let me know right there in the comments. Don't allow them to play you. Protect yourself. And watch out for the seemingly nicer parent who stays with the narcissist. They may be an enabler or a flying monkey. They're toxic too. They would be a nice person. They wouldn't be toxic on their own. But unfortunately, due to their codependency, they've decided to be a cohort to a person who has decided that empathy isn't important in life. Protect yourself from that. You don't want to absorb that energy.